Hello, hello. Look at that. I actually wouldn't have had to reset the timer. I forgot to grab water, so I had to go do that real quick. Well, forgot to grab it while the while the timer was counting down. So we're doing some burner designs today, I believe. We need to figure out what the next step should be, because we have pretty much everything that will be not everything that will be hand built. I think there's still a couple things we do. Oh, we need to do upgrades. Do we do those by? I guess we'll figure that out. Because I think it would be a good idea to upgrade things to fast belts, whatever they're called. Yeah, fast. Oh wait, they are actually called fast belts, aren't they? Fast transfer belts. Red belts. Let's just call them red belts, like I normally do. Designs for burner 100. That's a boring title. Oh well. I mean, it is what I'm doing. This is the wrong save. This is the correct one. Train unloading. Apparently that's what I wanted to do, but I don't know if it's really what I want to do. I also have the blueprint book again, so let's lag the game a little bit importing these. Wait, wait, did it not? Never mind. We will do that later. Apparently I didn't I copied something else instead, so I guess we don't have the whole thing. Okay, so what would you normally do after bots? Normally after bots you go towards purple and yellow sciences and stuff, but we don't really need to rush those that badly. So we probably just need infrastructure to support bot launches more than anything. Also, like automated. Well, we probably already have automated power production, which does remind me, we need to do some quick estimates for how much I'll need. So we need, I think we won't need more than 3 gigawatts. Primarily because we'll be using burner drills, so most of our power consumption is just directly in terms of coal. So that really decreases how much our base will use. Also, the fact that our goal is slower, so like our power requirements are higher. So that changes things too. Let's be ambitious. Let's say we need four gigawatts. That's 4,000 megawatts, which is how many power plants? That's a little. Let's see. They're 36 per power plant, right? Or 36. That doesn't sound right. Is that right? 36 megawatts per power plant? No, that has to be too low. I guess it depends how you. I guess it depends how you count it, huh? But yeah, no, it's 36. Wait, so we need 100 power plants? Is that right? That feels like a lot. Hmm. I feel like something's off there. No, it's 25 per gigawatt. That's a lot. Can you get how many pumps? Somebody told me once, how many pumps do they get from one lake? Because that would be a hundred pumps worth of water. I think they get 100, but they're double. So I think I don't think we'll be worried about water. But nuclear is a much more water efficient than steam power. I think so. Even though I'm using less power, I'm still concerned about the water at least a little bit. Oh wait, there's the blueprint book. Okay, let's see. Pipes for water, is it this one? No. It's one of these, right? Preview with border. Oh, landfill. There we go. Landfill. Wait, that doesn't really show us how much we actually need. How do I tell? How can I tell what the limit is there? Let's see. Where's the blueprint with all the pumps? Is it this one? I'm just trying to get an estimate based on like what the other, well, like an actual 100% run uses. Not like it's that good of an estimate. So this is the nuclear power. Does this have all the pumps in it? Probably not. That's a lot. That doesn't look like 100 though. Doesn't look like 100 pipes. But I feel like whatever. We'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll be able to get like 50 to 100. Because let's see, it's double offshore pumps helps a lot. Like 2 to 3 offshore pumps per section. That means we would need 50 rows of boilers. So we would actually have 25 separate power plants. Pretend you are here. Just like we're pretending there's a countdown. It would help if I knew where things are. Okay, which one here do we think would be pump jacks? Let's see. I feel like it has to go on here, or maybe it's here. No, that's the entire base. Seriously though, which one is offshore water? I mean I imagine it's just kind of dispersed randomly throughout it, right? Or maybe they have a separate plan. I've never actually, yeah, I should probably just watch a run. That's just the landfill. So that's how big of a lake they need. Wow. Now I see why there's all those resets for lakes. They make a whole lot more sense now. I can't imagine we'll have that many issues with our lake. We'll have some. We'll definitely have some, but I don't think we'll have that many. How many steam engines? How much is this? This is 1.6. How much power is that? Where is it? These things? 5.82 megawatts times 1600. So that's only 10 megawatts or 10 gigawatts. So we have to do a third of that, but with steam engines. Okay, and what's the ratio of water? This uses 103 for 10 megawatts. So what is that? That is zero point 0.1 megawatts per water, whereas these use, I think, 0.3, 0.03. Is it really a third? It might actually be a third. So with how much worse steam engines are, we're basically looking at using the same amount of water for 30% the power. It works out perfectly because that is exactly the amount we need. So now we need to figure out 100, and so we need 900 kilowatts with 4 gigawatts. So how many is that? That's actually not that much. That's only 4,000 steam engines, which sounds okay. It sounds like a lot when I say it out loud, but I think we'll be able to make do with fairly, honestly, pretty low production there, right? Because they're not that expensive. 31 iron. So we're only going to be spending 12, 120,000 iron on steam engines. Honestly, not too bad. It's not great. Definitely not great. I'm sure somebody has done the math. Also, there's no sound. That explains why it's so quiet. Do. Where's sound? There's sound. That's better. Okay. So we need 4,000 steam engines over the course of the run, and with that we need 2,000 boilers, which honestly those numbers aren't that high, all things considered. It depends how we make the steam engine thing, of course, but I mean technically one assembler can produce 7,000 per hour. It's not possible to reach that with burner inserters, I don't think, but technically it could. So I think as long as we just buffer steam engines throughout the run, that will probably help a lot. What else? And I wanted to look at the whole base. We're just going to delete this. don't think we have anything important over here. Also, we're not in map view. We need to discover some more area. You hope you write plenty of good comments. Oh, when you brand you here? Oh yeah, you've had very, very insightful comments. Oh right, I was not in map view. Okay, it's missing some connections at the bottom, but that's fine. Just give it a moment. We just painted a really large base. It's a bit laggy there. Okay, so what are the stages they have? Obviously, stuff they build by hand is pretty much already blueprinted. That's all of this stuff. And then it starts getting roboports. Okay, so right here it helps. Honestly, maybe I should just look at the staged file. That might be easier. Your burner mod is up on the portal if you ever want to spice this challenge up some more. I wouldn't be able to get to it for a few months, 2 or 3 months. I can say that much. Because this has to be done purely vanilla, and I won't be doing any burner stuff until this is done. And I'm expecting this to be around April. But I will take a look at it after that. Just with a non-official speedrun version of it. I think it's a variation of the burner only mod, but it adjusts the fuel values. Definitely meant after, gotcha. Adjust the fuel values and makes it that assembler machines take stuff, but scaled up like a lot. And also I think it lets you use regular inserters, but those are also scaled up a lot. So we would be able to use more inserters, which would be cool. The only downside is they would be very costly. Yeah, so we get all of the basic sciences, and then it's just bot bases. So yeah, it is just more production, and I'm assuming this is mall stuff to make stuff for bots. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah, we can do something like that. So that's a good next step. Just ignore this. This is the overwhelming size of the base. But this does gives us a good goal for how large our base will be. Not how much we'll produce, because there's absolutely no way we can produce as much as this base, because burners are terrible. If we wanted this comparable production, we would need 40,000 inserters, which probably would UPS bottleneck us before the outpost phase. Because this uses like 15,000 or something, so just, you can usually just double or triple or quadruple the estimate of converting burner inserters to regular inserters. Yeah, it's rough. But this also has to produce, this has to produce twice as fast, which means it needs to be like 4 times as big, because, exponents and stuff like that. So we don't actually want to connect trains quite yet, so this actually will not be our first train connection. Also, somebody suggested, what's the name? Editor extensions or something like that to me, which I did install, but I don't know how to use it, so I also don't know what it actually does. Does it have like extra short keys? Blah, blah, that's not a word. Yeah, I'm not sure if it really adds anything I strictly need, but figured I'd check it out in case it does add something. That whole tab on the right. Okay. Yeah, it's not that useful then. None of these we're particularly needing. Maybe linked belts for testing stuff, for testing outposts. But yeah, I knew it added that. I was hoping it added other stuff too, because none of these testing tools we've strictly been missing. Maybe the locomotive? Yeah, I guess it's just that I've never felt like the default ways for testing throughput were super lacking. But it could just be because we're doing with burner inserters and we have so many more problems than just getting things. We have so many more problems than trying to figure out how to test the throughput We just have to literally just make sure things are connected more than anything. But yeah, we might... Yeah, we'll probably use the train one. Well, the cargo wagon one actually is going to be tough. Because we're doing mixed... Well, let's test it real quick. I don't think the cargo wagon is going to be as helpful as I want. The locomotive one, probably good. This one... This one less good because we can't really have it do much. I guess we could increase the buffer size. Assembly analyst is what's that do? Does that tell you where your bottlenecks are, and does it account for burner inserters? Loader, yeah, the loader upgrades seem nice. Which one is the loader? Am I just blind? Because I was looking for a better loader. Oh, it's just this thing? Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah, that is easier. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, you're right. This one, by itself, a lot nicer. These also very good. Oh, wait, actually, no, this is really nice. Considering we never really have to do power, okay, so this is good, this is good, this is good. You know what, that's worth it. These two things. We'll take it. Yes and yes. Ooh. Yes and yes, that's unexpected. Let's look at this real quick. Something that accounts for burner inserters is surprising. Assembly analyst. Might as well grab it. Purple underground belt. Yeah, that one. I don't know why I was looking for like the basic loader icon. I like that you can do the different halves, because that is like that's like 4 less entities than it would take to do the loader unloader combo, which is really cool. Well, 3 entities, but a lot less rotations. Okay, I don't know what the hotkeys are for this. Did I break things? Did I break things, or am I pressing a button? Oh. Oh, you meant the train setouts for loading and unloading throughput. Gotcha. Yeah, I think the train setup things could be really cool if you were not doing mixed belts. I feel like the fact that I have to send mixed trains, and I don't really see a good way to test that with an infinity chest, because the amount of fuel I have on the train is actually very important, and the total resources on the train is also very important. So for my use cases, it's not that helpful, but I can see how it would be very useful if you were just testing your like mining outpost or something. It's just this specific scenario where I have to send exactly 50 fuel and make sure that's enough for my inserters. That causes a problem. Although I am still considering redoing some of the trains. Probably not, because I really like this design. Mixed dedicated trains would be nicer, but also so much slower and so many more trains. Like 3 times the trains. It's hard to justify. A fake setup with drop-off and pickup points for yeah, that's what we've been doing. Just using like a fake setup with spawned resources and stuff. With loader chests. Because I'm not... Yeah. Loader chest for the solid fuel. Okay, train out of fuel. I think that's when that was copied. But yeah, we have this mall, which honestly, we still need to finish that mall, but I don't know. I've been delaying it. Okay, so we're at the point where we're using steel furnaces, which... Is this really how this tests late? Oh, right, I haven't fully decided how I want to do coal yet. So we don't have a very standard design here. We've just kind of been cutting and pasting this end section, because there's like 3 different ways I could connect coal to them, and that they all change the spacing. So I've just kind of been considering this half of the base like a dead zone, and not worrying too much about it. Yeah, I imagine these will be steel furnaces. And then we'll probably want short stack lanes for the rest of it. Because we were looking at, basically for comparison, this is the stage we're at, the very first like bot phase. Assembly analyst should provide you with a tool somewhere that you can mark for analyzing. Yeah, I didn't look too much into it. I'm just like, oh, cool. We'll need to figure it out. We'll need to figure out where it is. Maybe it's a control button. Debug. There we go. Alt Z. Do I have Alt Z? I don't think I have Alt Z. Ooh, wait. Oh, hold up. That's cool. You know, this alone is worth editor extensions. Cool. Okay, don't quite know what that does. Oh, that's cool. Input shortage, inefficient power. Ooh. Now, how do I unselect? Ah, cool. Tools are right at the quick bar. Oh, you mean that kind of tool. For function calculator. I have a mod for a calculator? Or, wait, what data did that? Max rate calculator. Okay, this one... I think this one ended up not being useful. I was excited for it, but... yeah, there is no way to scale it based on burner inserters. It has an option for burner inserters, but it wasn't a useful option for burner inserters. Oh, there we go. We can add this. Okay, or we can just use the shortcut. Yeah, what are we comparing to? Where is the base? Let's move this. That way it's just directly south. Hello, Pantabo. Okay, reference build. These aren't important. So they do, oh right, okay, so since this is red belt production, obviously these are made without red belt, and then these are upgraded manually afterwards. Okay, I see it. We should probably redesign our steel lane to not use red belt. Honestly, it might be worth redesigning our entire thing to not use red belt. I'm not sure how hard that would be to do on burner inserters, though. It might be a bit rough for the hand built portion. You think Rhaegar's rate calculator is better? If anything can, I think a lot of anything that can do burner inserters is better. If it can't explicitly account for burner inserter stack speed bottlenecks, then it's tricky. Because basically all of the analyzers are like, hey, in theory, if you put like 12 inserters on something, it works this fast, but that's not like practical. So that's what my issue with most of the analyzers have been. It's just like, hey, the assembler can use this many, and I'm like, I don't want to know the max. I guess that's it. I don't want the max rate. I just want the current rate, so that way it's easier to estimate. Because the max rate is usually going to be limited to 3 inserters, generally like 2. The inserter throughput. Well, I know the throughput of inserters. Unless if it doesn't do anything other than just say the throughput, it's not that important. I just want something for like looking at an entire section more easily. So I'll look into. You said Rhaegards? Let's try that. Also, let's save this. 20 stream streak, nice. I still don't know what this feature is. Regards. I have rate calculator. I thought. Oh, I have max rate calculator. I guess I haven't tried this one. Interesting. Very interesting. What does it mean there's no compatible version? Is this game too outdated? Maybe? It's a better alt to max rate calculator. Yeah, I haven't used max rate calculator. Definitely don't need that one. But I might have to update the game. Disinstall should work fine. Yeah, I guess that's an option. Just hope it works. It should be fine. But yeah, nice. Congrats on the 100k channel points, Fantivo. I really need to figure out ways to spend them. I think max rate could be cooler. It's just I don't care about max rate, which is why in my case it's not that helpful. Like, because we did try it. We tried it for like a day, and there wasn't a single situation where I cared about that. Because I can't get the max rate of an assembling machine at so many points in the run, that it didn't being that helpful. But that is very limited to having to, that was pretty limited to having to do things optimized for build speed with burner inserters. Like, it's a pretty, admittedly, it's a pretty niche scenario, so it's not, like, it's not the mod spot, not the mod's fault at all. Nobody should be doing this. But let's try this one, see if it gives us a better option. Did I not install it? I don't think I installed it, did I? Or I don't think I enabled it. No, I did. That's what I looked. I tried to find one. Did I just miss it? Because I definitely looked for a button there. Check for Factorio Lab. Yeah, it might just be we have to do something to get Factorio Lab because it wasn't working with it, or it couldn't find it. But it's probably not that important right now, so we'll worry about it later. Let's see, we need prod mods, right? What is this? What are these belts reading? Oh, these are to keep the belts backed up. I see. That's interesting. Very interesting. Stuff like that could actually be pretty good for burner stuff. But yeah, this is all the stuff we'll need. Steel furnaces. Interesting. Are there no steel furnaces before that? Wait, are there actually no steel furnaces built before this? Oh, okay, there they are. I was like, there's no way. There's no way we wouldn't have been buffering them by now. Yep, there they are. This is just more. Okay. And then resource-wise, let's see, we have a steel lane, copper probably. No, iron, copper, iron? Yeah, okay. And then just a bunch of iron lanes because we're doing red belt. And this probably has steel or bricks or something in it. Yeah, these are bricks. And steel either comes from elsewhere or it's produced here. Okay, so yeah, we just need like 2 or 3 red belts of iron, or 2 or 3 belts of iron. That should be fine. Because realistically speaking, our requirements at this point in the run are fairly comparable. While we're building the base, obviously, once we get to the outposting phase, a lot of our requirements are lower. I think because of how much time they take to start and build. But I think at this point, aiming for similar production in the design is good. Because I think our bots can probably keep up with it. The real question is, can our inserters keep up with it? So, I mean, realistically, we need to convert pretty much all of these into gears, right? Like, I haven't really made a mass production of red belt before, but I know they use a lot of gears. And I'm pretty sure the ratio of iron to gears is like 1 to 10, right? 1 to 5? Yeah, 1 to 5 at best when you do underground. It's like 1 to like 30. Okay, yeah. So we can pretty much just say convert all of these into gears. So we have a couple options here. We will have stack size 2 by this point, which means we can power... Oh, this doesn't run full speed. What about with modules? Does it run full speed? So this is minus 10%. This still isn't. Kind of. But... like, it has a higher ratio of iron needed than copper. But in practice, because everything just ends up being slower because they build slower, you do end up needing less iron still. You just need a larger portion of iron early on. But you still end up needing way less of everything. Like, I think this is already overkill for this point in the run. But yeah, the fact that we don't need... that we can make do with, like, one row of copper for, like, everything is pretty nice. Because we don't need, like, any for them all. I think our first copper lane is going to be, like, 8 furnaces. It's going to be great. But yeah, being limited by other things definitely helps. I guess we can just accept that these don't run full speed. I don't like that. But what are my other options? I guess I could do... How many... This isn't a huge amount of inserters. We could put them on circuit logic. That's an option. If we have them... If we do our classic splitter trick to read the contents of a single belt, that would help, and have them all activate whenever the one belt is backed up. That lets you get a lot more dense. Because we can get off of the copper, we can get off of the coal grid at this point, or at least start to go away from it, because now we can get to a point where you can just paste fuel production in the middle of our base, so we don't need to follow this grid as strictly at this point in the run. I don't know, this part might be built by hand, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll end up needing to build it by hand. But the idea with the circuit logic is, where the circuit logic is, I could possibly save, save belt. I don't know if it really does, though. It mostly needs copper for science, which is admittedly a lot of copper. We'll also need a whole lot of copper for the assemblers later. But yeah, we don't need a ton early on. Because we need very few power poles. We just need power poles for the assemblers. But after this point, most of the copper requirement probably will be LDS and just sciences in general, which is a lot. So this is this more compact? No, it's not. I was hoping if I did it this way, I could make it a little bit more compact, but then you have to have fuel on the other side. Then you're looking at something like this. Fuel would be on this side. It gets side-loaded over here. That technically is fine. I should probably build all of it and see if the compactness matters. I don't like how it can't double-sided, but I do like how there would be fuel on this belt already. What mod? That's not a mod. That's a vanilla option. This thing. I don't actually need it. Yeah, this one is the one I really like, but then there's this one, which has never helped because I've never needed this inventory. It just gives me something to accidentally throw coal into. But I do like it for if you were switching between this a lot, it's pretty helpful. Because normally what I've been doing is throwing a chest on the ground, putting stuff in it, and then exiting, but now you can just kind of, you know, fill stuff up that way. Yeah, this is a decently compact way to do it, but it's not that compact. What if we have another option? We need to... This is a little bit better. I think, in terms of space. Vanilla has infinity filters? Yeah, I did not know about this until a couple months ago, and it is fantastic. We probably won't use splitters here, but is this better than any design we have so far? I don't like this gap. Okay, so when it's designed like this, it doesn't end up being any more space efficient. Actually, is it ever more space efficient? No. Okay, so the space efficiency actually just comes from The space efficiency comes from needing 30% fewer assemblers. So this actually is not that useful to try to maximize these. Like, the most compact way to build it would probably be to keep our old design. I don't know, there has to be a way to save a couple tiles, right? Let's see, is outputting from here an option? No, not with the double inserters. That makes it that everything is this wide. That's definitely not more compact. At least not horizontally, which is the way that matters. I mean, I guess I could technically fold it. Yeah, this is the OG design, kind of. I would actually just use the coal grid at this point if I'm gonna design it like that. Honestly, I think it's hard to beat the OG design. This matters more early on, like right here. Doing it that way with the inserters matters, because this is, yeah, doing it that way with the inserters matters because this is built by hand. This one matters a lot less. Because we're not going to be limited by build speed, I don't think. I don't know. I still haven't decided if bots will be building this completely or not. Yeah, okay, there's no reason to have fuel on this belt. Absolutely no reason to have these self-feeding. Okay, well that answers that. Unless we have like a completely radical design change here, which is possible. What if we like stagger them? Could that work? Well, we would need coal on this belt and this belt. Right, that's why that's why the dedicated coal is so good. Right, yeah. Now I remember why I started using these designs. If you can't tell, I really love the dedicated coal lanes, which is honestly not that common when I see people do burner stuff. I think people like the self-feeding aspect but it's not nearly as good as it sounds, which is unfortunate because I think it could be really nice if they were more consistent. But I guess most people also don't have to aim for like a 6-hour goal or 4 to 6 hour goal for launch, so that probably changes designs a little bit. Okay, we'll stick with this one. So this needs to consume like 2 full belts of iron. So we couldn't get a rate calculator work, but that should be pretty straightforward. You need 2 inserters? Oh, right. Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, no, I don't. I was keeping that there because I think my original idea was to do this. But if I just have them work slightly slower, I don't need 2 out. Imagine not knowing the editor has infinity filters. Yeah, imagine not knowing and having to have someone named Tice tell you. That would be embarrassing. Yeah, I would never not know this until he told me. Is it more compact self-feeding with 1 inserter out? No, it is not. Self-feeding with 1 inserter out... Well, self-feeding with 1 inserter out wasn't... I guess it's more compact, but it doesn't improve speed. Actually, no. No, I don't... I guess the thing is, if I want it to be more compact, I want it to be faster too. Maybe I just want too much. Because your idea is to just have 1 inserter out with like a filter, right? This doesn't need 2 in either. Like, this is your idea. Yeah, it really should be on by default. If you have 2 in, you need more than 1 out if you use prods. Not really. Because either way, they're not going to be running for a while, and the prods are going to take a while to go in. We're planning for them to just run slightly slower until we get the upgrades. But yeah, we could have prods there if we want. Or an extra inserter there. Honestly, it probably would pay for itself to have a double output. But yeah, if we do self-feeding 2 in, 1 out, that is more compact. I wonder if it's worth it, though. I would need to do UPS tests. Because this would have every single inserter on logic, which is not great. What are the other options? You can save on splitters there too. No, you cannot. You cannot feed 2 outputs with a single splitter unless you put every single inserter on logic, and that's not good. I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't work consistently, I guess would be a better way to phrase it. So like your idea is to do this, right? This inserter is guaranteed to die 100% of the time, pretty much. So it wouldn't be worth it unless I wanted to do logic. So if I do logic, which could work, I could do like if I do logic on the inputs, I could do something like this. It really depends on if I want to do circuit logic. Interesting. Why does it die? So this will continue to, this will be low priority because when the coal passes through, it starts over here, which means it's closer to this one and it gets grabbed by this inserter. So best case scenario, you're not going to, generally speaking, you're not going to have enough coal. At least you probably will at the beginning, but obviously if you have multiple in a row, you can't have the density be high enough over here without constantly sideloading. So this one will keep trying to grab this coal here repeatedly. It might work if you use a better fuel source. The type of fuel source does not matter. It only matters about the quantity of the fuel source. And this will just like keep failing. Because this will keep stealing and then it will steal these. Does it break when starting up? Yeah, it breaks when starting up. The issue is that this has almost run out of its free fuel. So I think this one should break it. Yeah, it's because it keeps like snatching it from it. So the idea with the circuit logic, I think one more should break it. The sad thing is, like, if you look at it, it's very close to not breaking. Like, look how close that is. This guy was like, if he had like half a second of fuel extra, he would be fine. Like, it is so close. But the good thing is if I have these on logic, I might as well have these ones on logic. So it could work. So one fix we have for this, which we use religiously in our outposts, because our outposts would lose like 20% of production otherwise, is this thing. But yeah, in theory, they should work like that. But in practice, the game doesn't care that much about burner inserters, so they didn't give them benefits. So this is the fix. Actually, they would have to be on separate networks. That's unfortunate. So the fix is something like this, and then you put it on, you just put it on a network. That's the wrong belt. And this one, so this one wouldn't actually need to be on logic. This one would need to be on logic. And you would just say, hey, don't work unless coal is greater than 3 or something. So that way, it only runs if it's backed up. So they won't start for a while, but it does mean they don't die. It's also really good for self-feeding inserters if I wanted to actually rely on these. So these would probably need a similar logic. It does make them start later, but it means they're actually all going to run. Because basically the way it works is if you send a full belt of iron and a full belt of coal here, a full belt of iron is, you're going to run out of the coal a lot faster before the iron. So these ones are going to start grabbing iron before, while these are grabbing coal, so the later ones are going to die. You wouldn't need the second splitter, you think? This is the second splitter here is to make it that if you run out of coal, they stop running. So it's not important here. It is important here. So yeah, this one only needs one splitter. This one would need two though. Because this is only a problem one time, pretty much. More likely, this is only a problem one time. This would be more continuous of a problem. But I'd probably would just have both for consistency. But yeah, that's why a lot of our designs look this way for burner inserters. You don't really see any self-feeding burners here because a lot of these are pretty early on. I can't really worry about fuel shortage. We do have a couple designs here with self-feeding, but I haven't, as you can tell, I haven't fully locked in on them because I'm scared. I don't know if they'll be worth the risk. But yeah, that's like a big design philosophy with this base. It shouldn't have to be, but it is. But I don't really know the UPS impact of having, you know, like 500 inserters on this logic. Yeah, that too. If it's a bot phase, then it's also like worse. Like if it's something hand built, you can guarantee you get coal first. You just have to wait a while. If it's bot fed, there's always a risk of breaking, so you need logic. If they're not self-feeding, or if they are self-feeding, or if they grab, like in this one, this is only a problem because the belt's going away from it. Literally any other direction of belt is fine. Like going towards it is fine. Going horizontally to it is fine. Going away from it is this is like the only one that's really at risk. Technically all of these can die, but the odds are very low for those, whereas this one is pretty much guaranteed. Because I've done a lot of testing with those. Yeah, okay, let's see. Honestly, it might be worth it. Set the output priority to the inserters. That doesn't fix the problem. You mean like this, right? Yeah, this doesn't fix the problem. Because it still has to do with the amount of coal you have on the belt and being consumed. Like it makes it that the first one works a little bit more consistently, but you still have the problems here. So like if you make a chain of them, like this one's got to be fine with a prio. This one probably will be fine. These start to be at risk. So it doesn't mitigate it enough to be a perfect solution. Is the belt not half a belt? It is half a belt of coal. But if you have a prio and you push some coal to the right, you're not going to get half a belt of coal here. You're going to have a little bit less here. You're going to have a little bit less at each step. Which isn't significant, but it is enough to make it that they might break. Like, it might not sound like a lot, but that density loss is what makes it inconsistent. Because we've done designs like this before. They just don't work on scale. Or maybe the other way around. Oh, prior it the other way? I mean, you still run into a similar issue. That honestly probably would be a little bit better. Though I think it would depend on how much coal you have actually coming in. Yeah, I think this one would be more consistent at least. But yeah, the logic I don't think will be too bad. So it probably isn't too big of a concern. Let's see if let's try this. How much do we need for a belt? Also, do we care about... Is this to get more resources, or is this to get more iron? Save iron. I'm not actually sure what the prod mods here are for. What do they do? I guess they probably don't use a whole belt, so it probably doesn't matter as much, huh? Because my idea was to make a whole belt. Yeah, they just use... Actually, they do use whole belts. That's only 10 assemblers. Okay, so it's literally to just save a little bit of iron so more gets through here. Okay, so we don't really need to worry about throughput too badly then. I don't love how these aren't super scalable. Oh, whoa, whoa, what happened to my internet? Okay, so these would be self-feeding on logic. All of them would be on logic for this design. Is there a... Does anybody know if there's a mod that lets you click and drag wires for this specific situation? Why am I dropping so many frames? Wait, what's happening? Do I actually have Steam open? You know, I'm just gonna chill here. There's... I'll keep talking, but yeah, there's not much. My internet's being problematic right now. I'm pretty sure someone's sending a picture. Because sending a picture is enough to like stall my internet for a little bit. I don't know if anyone can really... I'm not sure if my voice is going through. Can anyone say if my voice goes through, or is it just the... Or is it just the video that's being destroyed? Because sometimes it does destroy my voice. Okay. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. You know, I haven't gotten a response, so I'm gonna assume my internet is not my voice is not going through, which means nobody can hear this. But you know, we'll keep talking. If this makes it compact enough to fit in here, I think it's worth it, because I think that sounds nice, and it looks like we probably can still fit it here. So this would split. I don't really know exactly how the split would look. Honestly, I think it would go the other way. And then coal's gonna come from somewhere. Not sure how we'll do that. Honestly, we'll probably take coal from this lane. We could sidelight it. You can just copy. Oh, that's true. I could have just made them. Whole stream was buffering. Yeah, that makes sense. It's dropped about 1,000 frames out of the past, like 800. So that's good. It's still telling me, like, it's been red for like the past 2 minutes. And it's still dropping. It's dropping about 50% of the frames, it looks like. It's going up in 15s. So yeah, it's literally dropping half the frames. It is internet problems, right? Yeah, it's an internet issue. I'm gonna double check to make sure I don't have anything running. Because sometimes I do accidentally load Steam. And it cloud syncs, and then that cuts my internet. Let's see if that... Okay, it might actually... Steam might have actually been bumped on my hotbar when I went to OBS. It's in the background trying to upload 5,000 Baldur's Gate saves due to my compulsive saving. Cutting my stream because I saved too much in Baldur's Gate. That sounds about right. Okay, I think we should be fine. There is another option for how to make it work. And it has to read every single belt across from it, but I think that's really bad for UPS. Oh, wait, it's green? It's green? Okay, I think my internet's back. Let's go. Cool. So, the idea was that if we can fit this more compact version... I have my cloud sync on. You don't keep seeing cloud sync on? I do, because I have had so many issues with games breaking with just deleting files. I think it's because I play too many early access games and they just lose data so often. Or just delete things so often. I keep things on. And I don't want to keep local backups. But honestly, I should probably just delete it, because I don't think I've really used it. Because I think most of the times I've been saved, it's because I did happen to have a local backup. Yeah, maybe we should just turn it off, because it literally is not helpful. Okay, but this looks okay. Honestly, there's not really reason to double-side it, is there? Because then I combine it into a belt of gears, and then we're back at square one. So yeah, we can just keep it there. Oh, yeah, that's fair. If you're relying on cloud sync, can destroy things too, huh? Especially if you load on a different computer and then you cause problems. Then that causes problems. I have an idea. Can I make it work? Wait. I think I have something. I think I've got something. How many arm swings do you get from a single coal? I think it's 100. No, it's about 60, but it's like 100 seconds. I think one coal lasts for 100 seconds. It's like a 4,000 divided by 72, right? Yeah. No. They last for a minute. They last for a minute. Okay. Wait, that doesn't sound right. I know it says 90. That's not accurate. That's not their consumption. I used to know this. But then I stopped hand feeding. And also the wiki was wrong, so I'm not sure. Has it been updated? Okay, it's 57. It says 57 times. I think that part is correct. Which one isn't correct? Maybe it has been updated. At some point, it said, like, it lasted for 60 seconds, but it also said its consumption was, like, it ran for, like, 3 minutes, which those didn't go hand in hand. Or maybe that was for burner drills. I don't know. But it's like 60 items. Should be about 60 items. Oh, that's what it is. It's 60 items, but it's 100 seconds, I think, of constant running. Wait, that doesn't make sense with 72 kilowatts. Yeah, whatever. You know what? Here's an idea. Let's just do this. I want to say it's about 60. Oh, wait, this is stack size. Also stack size. Well, I also want to know, because for some reason I can't remember. I used to have like all of those numbers memorized when I was doing any percent burner stuff because I was using a lot of hand feeding, but now hand feeding is not that useful, so I kind of forgot them. What's using my UPS? Oh, right, this is my main one. I forgot we can't speed it up like a bajillion times in this file. But yeah, I wanted to get coal differently. Can we do this? This would make it a little bit less compact. Just a little bit less compact, but it makes it that iron is easier to get, which could be nice. Okay, yeah, it's about 60 items, which would be 100 seconds. Okay. What's the value for fuel? Maybe they only use 40 at a steady state, not 70. Or maybe, oh, wait, it could be with grabbing from belts that they use 70. But yeah, this is one option. So the advantage here is that coal would be on this belt. This would be iron and gears, which is just very convenient for building drills or for building conveyor belts. But downside, this isn't nearly as compact. It is still more compact than the old design, but it's not super compact here. It's still, actually, is it as compact? It should be a little worse, right? No, wait. No, it is just as compact. Okay, so this is actually better than the splitter version. Because same thing, they would all be on logic anyway. We might as well design it like this. This is honestly even hand buildable. To the point where it might be worth doing designs like this in the main base if it is that hand buildable. Am I missing anything? No. Okay, cool. So then conveyors would be built here. We would have iron and gears on the same belt. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Probably 2 would work. Well, okay, but we're going to be output limited because they're transports. We're going to be incredibly output limited, actually. Which means we need twice as many as we should normally. Or we either need twice as many or we need like 4 outputs. I think both of those are comparable. Because your options are basically, 3 input and then 6 output, or 4 inserters or 4 assemblers with like 2 in, 2 out, or 2 in, 3 out. You could probably do a 3 with this way. So yeah, I think their speed is going to be comparable. So yeah, this is probably the better design. Also gives us the option. Well, we can't get 3 out this way. But we can do something. We can do something to make this work. So yeah, I think this kind of design would be good. Again, these will probably all be on logic for coal. Oh wait, these can't be self-feeding. If we want them to be self-feeding, that does change the design a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, let's redesign. Oh wait, that was supposed to be copy. Let's redesign it over here. Because I feel like I have 2 different design ideas right here. This is self-feeding, but this is not. This doesn't have coal on it. And I think both of those designs are good. Stack size will fix it. It will, but this section needs to run full speed, I think, as best as it can. Because this is... Or we need to build twice as many. But that's why I was... I mean, this one... Yeah, these ones, I guess these aren't running full speed, so these ones don't strictly have to. But I did want to have some of this run full speed. Maybe it doesn't matter too much. I mean, worst case scenario, we just add like 2 extra assemblers. But because this is built so early, most of our base will not be able to build until this stuff finishes. So this is pretty important to have running at capacity with all the iron that it gets. Okay, so that was one design. Let's go with this one. So this would have... Let's try this same design, actually. I actually am kind of liking this design. If we're going to have stuff on logic, at least, this design isn't that bad. Oh, wait, this design doesn't work with 2 input inserters. Never mind, this design is... That's why we haven't used this design for anything, because it is very specific to 1 input limited and 1 output limited. Oh, but we could probably design red chips with that, though. Right? If we did a sushi belt and red belt... Ooh. Hold up, we might be able to redesign these to be really fast. Okay, we'll look into that later. I wasn't wanting to redo those, but... These are so input speed limit. We would need to do like 4 sushi belts to make it work, which might be problematic. But imagine how fast it will be to build, because it's just a bunch of drags, straight drags. I guess it's already a bunch of straight drags, so it's not too bad. Okay, so having this pure belt, this would lead into a design that is 2 input, 3 output. Actually, we could do 4 output. Would this help? I'm not sure if this helps. This is correct. You have all text. Wait, you have all text and you're getting 80 swings? Oh, right, because you're looking at swings, not at resource moving. Got it. Hopefully you... Wait. Wait, why is that over there? Wait, what? Why is the... I was going to say hopefully you saved your tests in different files, because that's what I always try to do when I realize if there's a mistake. 80 items, not swings. How did you get 80 items with all the text? $80 items with all the text? Oh wait. Was it low density or something? Something there doesn't sound right. That sounds like a huge loss, though. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind, there's 60 seconds in a minute. Wait, I don't know what I was thinking of. I was thinking the number should be higher, but yeah, never mind. That sounds a lot. That sounds better. Yeah, there's definitely not 100 seconds in a minute, and I am aware of this. Yes, yes, I am. Okay, so honestly, this isn't that bad. Input, input. Obviously, we don't have the ability to fuel these, but I think we could find a way to fuel them. You got 63. You're measuring different values. You were checking for swings per coal. They were looking at items per minute. This doesn't feel like it will be better. Self-feeding isn't a huge loss, so that one's not super important to include. Self-feeding is like 1 per 63 swings, so it's not like you don't lose a significant amount of speed. At least not in comparison to the amount of extra assemblers you can have, inserters you can have. Is it worth it to try to get 4? Well, okay. We can't get coal on this belt. I'm trying to get like 4 inserters over here, but there's not a great way to do that because we need 4 outputs. Well, yeah, we need 4 outputs, right, for them to work full speed. Is it 4? Yeah, a little under 4, but we can't really do 3.5 of an inserter. I feel like if we could, that would simplify things. Because imagine like having a half inserter just crammed somewhere. That's what we need to do this run with the offset thing. There is a distinct power difference with inserters, so you do need to test manually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for some reason their max consumption is not accurate. It's off by a lot. It's like, well, I mean, it's accurate as the max consumption. It just doesn't use that max consumption for a very significant part of its range. When you normally care about, average consumption more than anything. I don't see a way where these designs merge very well, but I don't know. It could be worth it. I think it could be worth it. Although these need to be a 1-1 ratio. The max consumption is accurate as its max, but like that's not useful is what I'm getting at. Like it's an accurate max consumption, but if it never if you don't use that for any of your estimates or in anything you do in practice, it doesn't make a difference from the user end to know that. Behind the scenes it matters, I imagine, but on the UI is not particularly helpful. Probably more helpful with inserters, with regular inserters, where peak power, is on a grid, not separate, where it could cause brownouts. It would be really weird if you brown out because of inserters, but I feel like that's possible. Okay, so this would need 2 inputs. Let's see, how do we do that? This is decent. This also gives a spot for coal here, which is good. Wait, can I stagger this? Yes. Does this help? How many belt? Okay, let's try that. That could work. Then we would need the same thing on the other side. Oh wait, that doesn't. Never mind. We can't get an output over there. So that clearly is not better. What are the other options? We can't do 3 outputs, so that is unfortunate. Oh wait, it's the same amount of inputs and outputs. What am I doing? There we go. Okay, in my mind, I was designing something where belts go on each side. Yeah, okay, makes a lot more sense now. Okay, so that means this is decent. We can't get prod modules here, so it doesn't really matter how we attach the resources. Coal. Honestly, maybe I will double down on this coal design. Like, if we already have logic for coal, and we can snake them to be the same belt of coal, we can have a single thing being red, which would be pretty nice. So that's not too bad. This uses a lot of space, though. Does it stagger well? No, this just straight up uses more space than the old design, but is less reliable. Okay. I think it's only good here because we're trying to combine it with the single output. Doesn't really work with double output. So that means in this case, if we were going to design like that, we should just have a separate coal grid. And just make this a little bit more compact, which means we would just do something like this. Then we don't have to worry about anything. Which should be easy enough. Bots will take care of a lot of the work. We can do strategically placed undergrounds, so we don't have to place these entity rotations, or actually, yeah, we'll probably do capped with an underground, so that way we don't mess it up as easily. A lot easier to tell where an underground is than half a turn belt. Okay, so we got transport belts. This is all right. I really don't love this, but it doesn't take up a lot of space. Ow! Oh gosh, ow! I just hit my knee. That's great. Right in between the bone. The best spot to hit your knee on a table, huh? Oh, knees are very vulnerable. It's why an arrow to the knee hurts so bad, huh? Still haven't figured out why that's there. It looks like it tried to put it to the right of the UI, but then when I move the UI, it just looks wrong. That's so bizarre. I don't think I've seen it move before. Usually it gets covered. Or I imagine that. That's also possible. But yeah, this is pretty compact, actually. Honestly, I like this. Now, the real question. What do we do with these? So now we have belts. So some of these will go into fast transport belts. We also just need more gears. I feel like I would want the belts to go the other way, but I don't know how well you can do that. What kind of stuff did they have? What did they have the ratio as? They have 10 going into here, 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 and here. Extra make their way over to grenades. Okay, that's fine. And a 3 to 3 to 2 ratio. Interesting. Obviously, the ratios here aren't that important unless we assume they're running full speed, which they probably are. But the important thing is an entire belt of iron basically goes to these. And then the spare are enough to make the rest of this. So we could actually do up to 10 gear assemblers. Okay, I think we can actually make that work then with the space that we have. Where is it? Where is it? So we have 6. They're running mostly full speed, so we could probably do like 12. Or we can do... Yeah, we should probably do like 12 of them, I imagine. I have no idea why these won't place. I copied it weird. Oh, there's a reverse belt. Okay, I was wondering what the issue was there. Okay, and then these are also limited. But if these are limited and these are limited, that's fine. And I'm thinking we could turn them around and have this belt go that way. And then we should have extra iron somewhere here or somewhere over here. One of these places will have extra iron coming through. Probably both of them, actually. So what we could do very easily Send this extra iron up, which should be on the inside, so that would go here. Rotate it. And now we also do another side load here, which now iron's on the inside. Send it up. So now we have iron and... Wait, we don't need iron. These don't need iron. What am I doing? Those don't need iron at all. Wrong recipe. We're doing red belt right now, we're not doing the undergrounds. Okay. So how do we get the input for this? That's the real question. I think we just need an insane amount of assemblers, right? Because there's no way that we can get enough input. Because let's see, we can do, honestly, it's not that far off. I say it's not that far off. We have 20% max speed. And I'm saying it's not that far off. But all things considered, that's not too bad. We could possibly do self-feeding if we shifted it up a little bit. Self-feeding means it would give itself gears. If we do self-feeding, this isn't the design to go with, though. So let's finish what we have now. We'll look at another design later. We'll need to figure out how to get coal here. Actually, I think I know how to get coal here. What we'll do is we'll mirror this whole thing. And then we can have coal coming from this chain. And then if we need coal to go through later, we can do... Oh, that won't work. We'll figure something out. If we need coal to go through later, we can just go around. Honestly, we probably don't need coal to go through because we'll just start producing it elsewhere. Okay, yeah, having it flipped is definitely the way to go. And that will let us get, I don't know how many, probably about 5, right? And then it doesn't really matter. I think it saves power poles to have them built like this as opposed to like this. Or maybe it's just easier to hand build. I don't remember. It's definitely easier to visualize, that's for sure. No idea why that didn't work. There we go. Okay, what does this give me? Not enough red bell, that's for sure. Should we just go directly into a chest here? I think we just go directly in a chest, right? I'm not sure if we need... Does anybody know if we care about the yellow bub at this point? Or are we literally just taking the green? Okay. We might care about the yellow belt. That might change our designs a little bit. I don't think it changes it a ton, because I'm thinking we would probably just buffer at the end. Actually, yeah, that's what we would do. Unless we want to do a 1-to-1 ratio. But a 1-to-1 ratio is going to be super input limited, probably. We'll look into it. And then these would need coal from somewhere, but other than that, I think this works fine. We would need more space to get a buffer. So far, we can only buffer 1.2 gears per second, a little under 1.2 gears per second, which is not fantastic. That goes there. Okay, so that's... Honestly, that seems decent. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to run the belts and just know that things are going to break. Let's give it rocket fuel. Maybe that will help. Actually, wait. Technically, nuclear fuel would help. It's unrealistic. Why isn't that working? There we go. Yeah, technically nuclear fuel would help with this kind of design. We can't get nuclear fuel, so it's only helpful for testing, but it means I don't have to set up the circuit logic to test things right now. Because nuclear fuel can only test to 1, or to stack to 1, which means the internal buffer should be just 1 rocket fuel. Nuclear fuel, which means... Actually, it doesn't mean anything. This doesn't actually fix things. Oh well. Because these can still fail even if the internal buffer doesn't work. The splitter one, the nuclear fuel would have solved it. With this underground design, the nuclear fuel doesn't really solve any of the problems. But at least we tried. And then this will just send across. Okay, what other things do we need to stress test? You know what? Everything gets... Let's give everything one of those new loaders. These are cool. They're also way easier to copy. Because it's a lot more obvious what's in them. There we go. I feel like... Can it only do half a belt? Oh, it's because it's going to a splitter. That makes more sense. Okay. So we should be getting gears, except they're all disabled by logic, which makes sense. We haven't actually set the logic, though, so we don't need to stress about it. I love the idea of these taking nuclear fuel. I'm really sad we can't do nuclear power. I don't see the problem here, though. Oh. Right. Super substation. And super accumulator. There we go. Once again, I'm forgetting that burner inserters don't need power. This is not the first time that's happened. This doesn't run, so that's useless. Are we actually gear limited? How are we gear limited? We're not getting enough iron. Why did I think this is enough iron? I guess that's the problem with a design like this. Nuclear fuel is so much better than rocket fuel. It is, I think in terms of burner inserters, it's probably not amazing. But it is fun. We're just gonna test with this. We're just gonna test with infinity plate, I guess. Yeah, because most of the fuel you spend on burner inserters is backed up on the belt, I imagine nuclear fuel is gonna be pretty rough. Would be pretty rough to use. Because how much belt do we have? We have like 5,000? Let's say a third of that is fuel. That means you have to make like 4,000 rocket fuel before the base starts, or nuclear fuel before the base starts. That sounds fantastic. Okay, so these are actually producing a lot better than I thought they would. We need to stagger it a bit more, though. What if... Okay, there is a way to direct feed, I think, which might help. Because we can direct feed like this, and then use the belt grid. I don't know if... Oh, wait, this isn't staggerable, though. This doesn't actually work. Yeah, you only have to fuel once. That's true. If I just hand-fed an entire burner base, then it could work. Maybe a splitter works here? No, okay, now I remember. You can't... If you want to direct feed, I don't think you can do 2 inputs or something like that. So that eliminates that option. We could feed into a chest, but that doesn't seem... Oh, wait, no, that doesn't actually fix it. Oh, wait, but if we're direct feeding, we don't need that output. Maybe that solves it. Well, not solves it, but this might make it better. Or had a kickstart belt. A kickstart belt, what, made of coal and then you switched? What would the kickstart belt do? I like the idea of you just have one nuclear fuel, just like cycling the entire base and occasionally things grab it. That would be fun. Actually, this might work really well. Hold up, this actually seems good, right? Also, maybe iron should come from the other way. Because then it's more scalable. Well, not scalable. Made of nuclear fuel. What would the kickstart belt do, though? Does it just, like, kickstart thing and then cycle back to the main base? Is that the idea? Actually, I kind of like this. Can I feed 2 with it? Because that would be pretty good. Then recycle it for other builds. Okay, so that's what I thought. Gotcha. I don't think you can... Oh, wait, you can't do 2. Not on the coal grid. But if we forsake the coal grid, maybe it works. Input... So I'm thinking, actually, this way is more reliable. That would be the better version of it. Input, input. It's easy to output from all of these. That's actually really nice. Oh, actually, no, wait, that's really nice. That lets you output from the yellow, the yellow belt, which is something I was wanting. That gives you like one third of them become yellow. That's pretty good. It's definitely not on the same grid, but it is on a grid. And then you could tessellate it with this pattern. No, one more tile between. Oh wait, no, I was right the first time. It is 2. Okay. This is a weird grid, but it honestly is pretty solid. Pretty solid. I feel like it looks weird, but no, it totally works. Let's give it some coal. Coal. And then iron comes from all from one side, which is pretty nice. We need iron and gears. Okay, I feel like we need more gear production, but there is this dead zone here. Maybe there's something we could do with that. Like we could have some gear production here that side loads. And then maybe we can shift this over a little bit. Because what are these limited by? Oh, wait. Do these not have 2 inputs with this design? That one doesn't. Interesting. How did I miss that one? Okay, so I was right the first time. I did think there was supposed to be a second gap, but didn't double check. Can you loop gears around? We possibly could loop gears around. Not sure what you mean by pull from the other sides, though. But yeah, we could do something to loop gears. Oh, you mean like try to get something here? Ooh. There is barely enough space for that. Yes, that works actually really well. Wait, does it work? Yes. Yeah, we just have to move this one. Wait. Hold on. If we use a splitter, we can make it work. There's probably another way, but for now, let's just use a splitter. Because I can't fit an underground in there. And this isn't a huge deal. We'll try to make it. We'll try to remove the splitter later. Okay, so that gives us 3 inserters. We could also technically put gears on this belt, which is risky because that's self-feeding, but it could work. Okay, this uses a lot more iron. Okay, this is way nicer. What is this limited by? Okay, now they're gear limited. I think that's good, though. I want it to be transport belt limited. Actually, do I? If I do it like this, I probably want a dedicated belt assembler somewhere. Maybe I don't want it to pull from both sides. Left input inserter into yellow belts won't work due to fuel. Did I mess up the spacing a second time? Oh yeah, I did. Huh. I thought I was so careful about the spacing there. I was like, oh yeah, this won't work. And then I'm like, oh right, it will. But yeah, we messed up the spacing. But that doesn't do anything. I thought I had something there. Actually, do we? No, not really. Maybe, but probably not. Because this section can be messy. This section is built by bots, mostly. We can make it pretty messy. Not this messy, obviously. But, well, I mean, we could make it this messy. We don't need to. Okay, so that's why we're belt limited. That makes a lot more sense. Like we were supposed to be belt limited, but not that heavily. Because this needs a 5-to-1 ratio. Okay, there we go. That looks way nicer. Okay, gear production. Honestly, gear production is like maxed out. That's pretty solid. Okay, this is good. We do have space, and since we are looping it, we do have more space to work with than we thought. So, oh wait, but with the loop, I don't think we can feed two output inserter. I don't think we can feed two at once without a buffer chest in the middle. Because if we were to shift this over one tile to get fuel here, we no longer can direct feed. But if we've shifted over a second tile, we could get a buffer chest here somehow. If we could get inserters here. Can we just do one? I think the issue is that we can only do one this way. Maybe we should just be outputting onto a belt. But I was hoping to maybe save. I was hoping to get more gear inserters. Oop. Oh, sorry. Hit my mic. If you weren't putting yellow belts in a chest, you could pull gears from the other side too. Well, I do need them to go in a chest though. That's the problem. Although, we might not need them to go in a chest. There is the possibility that we actually end up saving space by just having another assembler over here that goes into a chest. So maybe it is fine. Like, it is possible that we're totally fine here to not have that chest, and then we can just have another gear assembler right, or another belt assembler literally right here. And then this probably will produce enough extra belt. Okay, so this is another option. Does this let us get us extra gear assemblers? Possibly. No. No, it doesn't. I wanted to get another gear inserter on here, but I think 4 gear inserters is a bit... Gotta be a bit rough. We could... You know, if this isn't on the coal grid, so we technically can do this. Like, we can make our own coal grid here, and then on that thing we can put gear inserters. Does that work? Well, it doesn't work because this is an infinity loader, so I guess that doesn't let me like fake sideload things. But this is the idea I had in mind. Have these extra ones be self-feeding. If we can get the coal distribution to work. 'Cause like self-feeding, I think self-feeding is okay sometimes if you have like a backup. Or, you know, if you have them on some kind of logic. But these would all need to be their own logic grid, which is why I don't want to have to measure like 20 different coal belts. But since these are just backup inserters, it might be fine. Like that's the idea there. Like if these die, they die. It's not the end of the world. But honestly, we're maxing out these gear assemblers, so that's probably fine. This produces a decent amount. I mean, it's pretty slow, but it produces, I think, enough. This one's also died. These two also died. Okay, overall, this isn't terrible. Also, if we're no longer buffering chests, if we're no longer buffering in the chest, that changes. That changes this belt. You could prio the splitter so it doesn't put gears until the main line backs up. I'm not super worried about that. But yeah, we can definitely do a prio if we need. But I figured if we have this different design, it's probably just going to have... If we're probably just going to have these coming from the other side too. At which point we might as well just use... We might as well not have the splitters. And if we don't have the splitters, there's not an easy way to get those. Yeah, that should be fine, right? Yeah. Okay, we don't need that anymore. Okay, that looks a little nicer. These idle a lot more, but that's not necessarily a problem. Actually, wait, do they even need double input? I'm not sure if they need double input. What's the ratio for these? Like if we're not having the chest there, do we need double input at all? Because this has a ratio of 5 to 1. So this has 6 gears inserters to... Wait, is it 5 to 1? No, it would be to 2. Okay, it would be 5 to 2, so we do need a second one. Okay. It's not a problem at all. Honestly, that looks pretty solid. And it's basically ends here. Is that too high? I mean, not necessarily. I kind of wanted it to end at the same height at this section, but that really is not. That's not a necessity. And then I think for this, we would actually want fuel to come from the other side, because that will make it easier to sideload coal or sideload iron onto it. Or maybe we should just have these have dedicated iron patches. Let's see. This should be... This is half a belt of this. Okay, so this is like these each need like a whole belt of iron. Also, I somehow dropped one. We're supposed to have 10 here. Not sure how that happened. There we go. We're just gonna leave that for now. Okay. This looks all right. We just need to figure out how to get 3 half belts of iron to this. Actually, like 4 half belts of iron to that, which I don't think is that much of a problem. Because this doesn't use a ton of iron directly. Easiest way is to just split the belts, right? Well, no, not split the belts. We would need a splitter. Should I have circuits? I wonder if I should have circuits to make sure the belts back up. Especially with inserters, that might be pretty... With burner inserters, that might be worth it. Okay, so that's probably what the prod modules are here for then. To make it that they use more gears than they use iron, or produce more gears than they use iron, just so you can get a few extra inserters. Because we basically need half a belt every three assemblers, basically. So yeah, a couple options. I think the easiest option would actually be to have fuel over here, which I don't think is a problem. In fact, it's probably better. Marginally better. Fuel tends to grab from... They grab from fuel first, so the side that fuel's on doesn't matter that much, but it does help a little bit. And then that gives us the option to sideload iron here, and then we have like a splitter. And we sideload more later. And... again later. Something like that. I don't love that. I feel like that will have issues with distribution. Maybe it's fine. We also need a second lane for this to work, so let's get that built. And by built, I mean copied. Oh, look at that. We have a second lane of iron. Oh, wow. Look at... We're so fast. It does line up very nicely, though. See, this has extra iron. Honestly, this might be able to loop around. That could be good. Yeah, that's kind of the nice thing about having pure resources is it's a lot easier to balance the resources. Oh, we also need to clear the belt still. We're in map view. Okay, so what are we limited by here? Gears? Can we get more gears? Do we need more gears? I keep looking at this, but it's obviously not that helpful because we're inserter limited, so that changes things a lot. Because our inserters are like half the speed of these, and we have like a 1-to-1 ratio. So their production here, I think, is 20% more, which would explain why we're limited. and still backing up on iron. So we do have space. We do have space. Although, wait, gears are backing up. Wait, are we inserter limited? Or did a chest fill up? This doesn't feel right. But I think it's fine. No, that's good. You know, I think we just have to counterblast. Like this seems all right. This is 4 partially running red chest or red belts assemblers. That's all. That's fine. I don't understand why it feels like it's running faster now. I wonder if the belt just needed to back up a bit. And then this is working great. Perfect. Don't know how much yellow belt we need at this point. We probably need another yellow belt assembler. Which we can fit pretty much anywhere. Like we could fit one here if we need. We do still technically have the original one. Assembly Analyst. Yeah, we could try that one. So what do I highlight with that? This entire thing? Oh. Whoa, it highlights burner inserters are dead. Wait, where's the key that it gave me? Does it only do that on the first one? Or am I just blind? The entities we care about. Fair enough. There's a bar here. That's cool. You think side loading would go slightly better if you did every cert? Yeah, that's true. I don't have to keep them on a pattern. I just kind of chose random points. But yeah, we should do it a little bit. Choose a better option. Although I wanted to keep the density. Because if we moved it here, this doesn't get enough iron, does it? So like this is idling a lot more, which means this is producing less. Whereas if we do it here, they work a lot more full speed. We could back up the belts. Oh wait, actually, I have an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. No, it's not. I was gonna say we could just stop sending iron through, but that sounds like a terrible option. Okay, there was a key at some point, so I don't remember what these mean. Okay, is that why gears were backing up? That's probably why gears were backing up. Things didn't have fuel. Okay, this is pretty cool. I don't quite get how this is green, orange, red. That probably means something. I just don't know what it is. But yeah, keeping belt saturation when you have such a limited stack speed is, I think, a little bit better than making sure the belt spacing is like, you know, evenly divided. Or the belt consumption is evenly divided. Really, the best option is to do some kind of belt stubbing. But that requires us to get fuel from different points. And if we do that, we can't do one logic. And I don't like that. I don't really love that option. So we need fuel to all come for the same. So yeah, maybe we do just stall it. Or maybe we just don't worry about stalling it. Maybe this is just fine. Okay. How do I disable this? Actually, how do I disable this? Hold up. Ah, that's not how. Oh, there we go. There's the legend. Insufficient power. Oh, that's cool that it considers those power. Disabled. Oh, that's disabled by logic. Okay. These are obviously limited by inputs. Yeah, I know that. Oh, okay, so it's like a bar. Gotcha, I kind of get it. Yeah, this is output overload. How is this an output overload? What happened with this guy? You're using all the iron and only feeding 9 gear inserters? Oh, wait. That's more realistic. Thank you. I completely forgot that we have more stack size than we should at this point. Oh, that's not what you were pointing out. Yes, we're supposed to be a lot more input limited here. You see a half lane up top is blocked. Okay, I need to disable this. Let's just right click, right? Left click? No, shift click? There we go. Reset the analyst if you change. Well, I wasn't trying to change stuff. Oh, you mean with the analyst? Yeah, yeah. I wasn't trying to keep the analyst up the whole time, I guess is what I'm going for. Okay, so these should have stack size 2 now, so hopefully they work a little bit more consistently. Although I think the side load was still good. Every 3. Okay, you said a half lane was blocked? Interesting. Wait, this isn't the density I thought it should be. Okay. Are these not running? Maybe it's just a belt balance issue. I mean, they are running, but what's our bottleneck now? Okay, so we do need more gear assemblers for this. That makes a lot more sense. And then I guess for the last of it, we could. Well, we're getting iron, and we do still need iron on this belt. We could do like a pry over here that uses that does leftover gears. Something on the end. I don't think that's that important though. We also need to at least get a general idea for how to do undergrounds. So what are those bottlenecks? Yeah, well, 3 half lanes is the intention, I think. I didn't want to use all of it, although I guess I should. I guess it depends if I want the iron to go elsewhere. Yeah, this one was designed for 3 half lanes, but we could very easily add more gear assemblers here and use 4 half lanes or whatever that would be. This would go here. I might have said 4. I say the wrong words a lot. But yeah, originally this one's just designed for 3 at the moment. Yeah, might as well go for 4. I don't think there's any reason not to. Okay, so hopefully that helps. No idea what that is. Oh, was that supposed to be getting coal from there? I don't know where that was getting coal from. Now it's getting coal from here. Perfect. Look at that. This is exactly how the coal lane will look in the actual thing. Okay, everything should be running a little bit better now. We're not quite using all this iron, but I think that actually is fine because this does use the iron. So this shouldn't be using 4 up top. So yeah, I think we're good. Let's empty these, see what happens. Remove unfiltered items. Oh, I don't have a max set. Oh, that's why that wasn't. There we go. I didn't have at most set. I was wondering why it wasn't clearing the belts. Okay, hopefully we have more gears now, and now we have other bottlenecks, of course. Why would we not have other bottlenecks? Okay, now we run assembly analyst, see what happens. We are short in gears for the first inserter. Oh, that makes sense. But this one can get supplemental gears, right? Not easily, actually. Also, that was backed up. These are getting enough input. I mean, you know, with the input speed we have, they're getting enough input. Okay, I think that looks decent. Gears aren't backing up. I think that's what we want to see. I don't know how iron keeps getting over here, though. Maybe it was just there once and I just never fixed it. Yeah, that was probably it. There was probably just a little bit backed on the belt from the curve. Exactly is your preferred option. Oh, yeah, that's smart. Because at most, you run into situations where you have like one single belt and then your smart belting breaks, which we used to do a lot. What did you send? Is it how to actually use Analyzer? Yeah, the legend. Yeah, when I use this tool, I don't get the legend. Unless I'm clicking the wrong button. What am I clicking? Oh, that's toggle map editor. No wonder why I'm not getting a legend. I'm just clicking the wrong button. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, we're good now. Yeah, I wonder why we weren't getting the analyst to work. It's almost like we weren't using it. Okay, so that looks nice. What is that production belt? This is only 2 belt per second. This feels like so much more. Red belt is awful. And it uses so much iron. Almost 4 belts of iron, or almost 2 belts of iron for that. The ratio here for iron does actually seem to be pretty decent. These back up a little bit. So we do have a little bit of extra iron to spare. What are our options there? I think a conveyor maybe shifted over here would be good. I don't know, probably doesn't matter that much. We can try to get like the last of it later if we really need. We could also just wait and then actually wait, this can't consume all the iron. Even when we get the stack inserter upgrades. We'll always be lacking. Yeah, oh well. What do we need for undergrounds? Undergrounds are a lot of iron, right? And then oh my gosh. Forgot about the gear requirement of those. How do we do this? How much iron did you... Okay, let's again look at our reference. They have, oh my gosh. Wait, are these 4 belts of iron going into... No, this is... Okay, this is gear. This is steel. Wait, is this steel? I don't know what this is. Oh, that's more iron. Oh. Wait, how much iron is going into? How much iron do they have going into these? That's 1 belt of iron. That's 2 belt of iron. Oh my gosh. You can get Analyze tool on the toolbar if you add another row. Wait, you can do 3 rows for the shortcuts? Oh. Cool. Nice. I've never really been limited on tools before because I've never used external ones. That's nice. I guess it makes sense that if you can increase these, you can increase these. Okay, so let's see, what were we looking at? Right. We're crying about how much iron we need. So this is 2 full belts of iron going into just red belt. And then 2 belts of iron plus extra. Wait, this doesn't have red undergrounds in it. Oh gosh, this doesn't even have red undergrounds. This is... Yeah, okay. I see. Hello, Lord Sarah. Welcome, welcome. Also, this little iron buffer at the end is great. Okay, I see. This is 2... Some might prefer we use 4. Okay, fine, we can do 4. We might as well. Is that better? Yeah, we're... Okay, so 2 belts going into just red belt, and then 2 belts going to red undergrounds. I guess that makes sense. Because red belt is mostly being used at this point to upgrade just mining lanes and stuff, and build things by hand. So we're not at the point where we're using red undergrounds. So it makes sense that we're not trying to spend that much on red undergrounds. I feel like something like this would actually be good, though, for the design to keep it a little bit more compact. Especially since... Oh, wait, this is like one tile away from working, isn't it? Actually, does that work? This might work. No, it doesn't. I don't know what I'm thinking. The other one worked better. Okay. There we go. That makes it a little bit more compact. Gives us one more tile to work with. Well, we'll worry about the iron distribution later. There's also an option of doing a bunch of half belts, or maybe switching away from these self-feeding. Lots of options. Because I'm not dead set on the self-feeding. I think it's risky for not really a good reason. I mean, it does make it slightly more compact, but only a little bit. Okay, so we probably need a lot of these because we're going to be input limited by belts. As usual, belts are input limited. We don't need a fast inserter. Please don't give me a fast inserter. We would have to restart the entire design phase if I placed an inserter. Okay, we wouldn't actually have to. So 2 in, 2 out. Can I direct feed these? If I could direct feed these, that would be great. Or maybe I can direct feed gears. Direct fed gears would actually be pretty cool. That would look something like this. Oh wait, this has issues with reliability, which is a problem. Probably not worth it. Let's try it. So gears over here. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. We can give it prod mod, just save some iron. This looks like nuclear fuel. This is just testing. Nuclear fuel starts it a little bit faster. Because you don't have to buffer as much inside the inserters. We won't be using it in the runs. There aren't that many situations where we're limited by the fuel consumption and like how high value the fuel is. We're usually limited by quantity of fuel. So for testing purposes, it doesn't make a huge difference unless I'm testing startup time. Because really the thing that ends up mattering the most is just how quickly can you get 4,000 of any fuel to those assemblers. This looks really cool. I hope we can make this work. The only downside is you can't get iron here, so that makes me think we can't make it work. But wouldn't that have been cool? To have direct fed gears like this. If only. One can dream. But yeah, I think at this point in the run, we'll probably still be using a mix of coal and solid fuel. And that's actually... it's what we were talking about, like, circuit logic here, to make sure that these aren't self-feeding unsafely. The reason I've been so hesitant about using circuits isn't because it doesn't have anything to do with not wanting to do circuitry. If I want to do circuit logic to make things work, I have to guarantee that I use a specific type of fuel, and I'm not sure what I'll be using here. And I would have to be able to guarantee that only coal gets here or only solid fuel, which I don't know if I'll be able to do at this point in the run. There is another way. You could probably do like 2 separate circuits. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's a great way. You could probably do a circuit that reads both. Though I imagine you would have to use a decider combinator for that, though. Or 2 combinators, I think. Because you could read from the belt and you could say if it's solid fuel or if it's coal. If solid fuel plus coal is greater than 3. Something like that. Then it could work with either. We would need 1 combinator for each one. Or, sorry, not combinator. Arithmetic. We would need some kind of arithmetic combinators. I don't know if that's... I mean, we could probably use decider combinators. I don't know which would be better. You could use two deciders, too. But there are things I can do to guarantee it only gets coal. Like I can design my base to not have solid fuel go to this entire section. That would increase my fuel requirement a lot, but it would make it that I can do things to avoid breaking my original base, which is nice. It's insane how much iron this uses for such a small, what feels like such a low amount of production. I don't know why I don't know why this feels like a low amount of production. It's like 12 gear assemblers running at partial speed. They are partial speed, right? Yeah, they're partial speed because we don't have stack size yet. Okay, so dedicated belts or no dedicated belts here. What's the limit for what's going to be the limit for undergrounds? What's the ratio? Let's see. Underground belts use 10 to 5. Ooh, wait, that's promising. All fuel types equals -2. Is that a condition? All fuel types -2? Or all fuel types? Oh, a constant cannot. Oh, gotcha. I see what you mean. You have a constant combinator just subtracting stuff from it. Yeah, that could work. One constant combinator for the circuit. Yeah, I thought you were talking about I read that as decider combinator initially. I didn't say decider combinator, but I read it as that and was like, wait a minute. You can't do that in a combinator, can you? Okay, but these are a 2-to-1 ratio, which means we need more iron than transport belts. So we really just want to get as many inserters as we possibly can. How many inserters can we get into? Wait, I just had an idea. Is it a good idea? No, never mind. No, it's not a good idea. I'll show it anyway. I was contemplating doing this. But the issue is this lets you only have a grand total of 3 inserters in, so it's not actually that useful. Because you can't have it on the other side. You could do this on the other side. But I think we're not benefiting a lot at that point. Although it is fun. Also, it's really hard to actually get that kind of throughput you need with burner inserters at this point. Okay, so we have 9 sides to work with. If we want to minimize these, we need to use them all. 9 sides to work with. Sorry. 3 sides to work with, because we probably need to leave 1 for output. Although there is an option we could do 2 from each side, right? No. Okay, is this the max amount of input inserters you can get that aren't self-feeding? I think it is. Maybe we do self-feeding and we do a circle. Because this is incredibly input limited, right? Like even more input limited than this. Slightly. Yeah, this is going to be 30% more input limited. I don't think it's going to be output limited. So if we did self-feeding, we can get a very high throughput like this. And then we can just output here. And if we really wanted to, we could even get 12 inserters, but I think this is the wrong ratio, right? We need a 2 to 15 ratio, which is actually, but these are going to be running slightly slower. So like a 1 to 8 ratio would probably be fine. So yeah, this is pretty close. Yeah, I think this is going to be our best bet for... I think this will actually be our best bet for the red underground, for the yellow underground. Because while this is a bit bulky, it's either this or I have like twice something that's like 3 sets of this, but only slightly smaller. So yeah, this is probably our better option here. How do we want the gears to look? Wait, there's no gears here. There's just iron. Oh wait, how much of an iron belt does this use? Let's assume it's running full speed. That's 15 iron per second. Oh wait, no, 7.5 iron per second. This isn't literally an entire half belt of iron. Oh wait, these can't be self-feeding. Not like this, at least. It would actually look like this. We would have these be on a separate belt than these ones. Which is, interesting. 2 sides iron, 1 side belt. Yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. I forgot that they were going to be self-feeding. Someone's like, oh yeah, we just have 1 loop with both of them on it. Okay, now, this begs the question. Can we direct feed from a belt assembler with this kind of design? Because now, that's a possibility. But that gives us this ratio. So if we do that, it's not looking too hot anymore. It does look cool though. It does look pretty cool. But yeah, if we do direct fed, we can't get the full speed. Have to be, I mean, it's still pretty fast. It's definitely still pretty fast. Iron could be over here. Where do we get gears from? Is there any way I can make gears work? Is this the strat? Because now that I've made it longer, it doesn't actually seem that bad. It doesn't seem amazing, but it doesn't seem that bad by any means. See, this is the right ratio. This is the right ratio. This has a ratio. Coal would be on this belt. Coal and iron would be on this belt. This would literally just be iron. So this has the problem of this is you can't run this full speed, but we could do like 3 of these. And this also works, this mirrors very well. I think this still, does this have iron issues? Where's the max? Oh wait, we never got max rate calculator. Okay, we'll do it by hand. How much iron does this use? This uses 7.5 at max speed. It is running at, we can probably safely assume that it is running at 60% speed. So we probably do have enough iron to split it. Which is sad. But because the inserters are so slow, this probably works fine. We don't have a good spot for an input here, but that's okay. We are designing for stack size 2. We will have stack size 2 before bots. Most likely. Or at least around the same time as bots. It's either going to be right after or right before, but they're going to be close enough that we can design for it. So we won't be able to run these things at full speed, but we'll be able to run them at close to full speed. Like 80% speed, right? 2.4, no, not 80% speed. A little under 80% speed. So that's something like 8 inserters per half lane? Yeah, about that. If we add prod modules here, that helps slightly. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I guess we don't really have a ton of spare though to work with, do we? There's no reason. Okay, we might as well just do this then. Or this. Either way, doesn't make a huge difference, but either way it's looking like they need dedicated belts. But this looks pretty decent. We also, where's the backed up iron? I feel like we have issues here from only using half a belt. Oh, it's because this one's not actually being used. Well, I think it was slightly being used, but not a ton. We probably have enough iron that's not that useful. Actually, I think that balances it a lot better. Does it? I feel like there's still a problem. What am I missing? Where's my iron? Oh, the extra iron's down here. I think. We don't have a way to use... We don't have a way to use this whole lane. Because we're using less than half here, and we can only use half here, right? Oh, wait. Well, the extra can be sent there. So it should fix itself. Yeah, okay. I think that's the solution we needed. It looks a lot better now. Although I don't know if we have... We don't really have that much iron here, so we can't send a ton to the future. So I think we just need to design around the new lanes. So where's this? So we'll have at least 2 lanes of iron here. Which means we do have a decent amount of space to work with. We can fit other things here. Because we also need pipe and undergrounds. This is basically just hey, we need like 6 lanes of iron. Let's get those set up section. So that way bots can start building. It's great. I love this super station. Because power pole placement is not important, generally. Like, it's hard to design something so poorly that you can't fit power poles in it by accident with burner inserters, so I don't have to stress about them too much. Do I need this? Is this limited by things other than... No, I do need that. Okay. I was hoping maybe this would be limited by things other than inserter output speed, so I can make it one more tile. Compact, but not a big deal. We also need an output for these, which we don't have the ability to fit in here. So I guess we need to make it... I guess we need to make it a tile larger anyway. Sure, that's not how it'll look. That looks great. For spacing purposes, this works. So this would be half a lane of iron and coal, and then this would be half a lane of iron and coal. And does this give me enough iron? I feel like this doesn't give me enough. I feel like I need 2 sets of these. If I need 2 sets of these... Honestly, should these really don't feel like they should be self-feeding until the end. Because, like, I'm looking at this. This doesn't have any extra inserters from self-feeding. This doesn't have anything extra from self-feeding. These do. This has, like... This has 1 more inserter than it can get. So it's really not... I guess we did it for compactness. But now we have to split an iron lane, like, twice. Now we have to care about what sides they go on. And get fuel over here. What are the other options? Maybe if I direct feed in a different way? Like, what if it's something like this? Maybe the fact that I have it linear is the problem. Maybe that's not the strat. Maybe I should have wrapped it around more, so then I could have 2 of them like this. Or even better, like this. Although that... Oh wait, that doesn't have the input at speed, so that doesn't actually help. I like the idea, though. I liked where I was heading. It just doesn't work. You're off to bed. See you. Nice. Thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful evening. I feel like we have a lot of vertical space to work with. I think maybe I'm trying to make it too compact in a spot that doesn't matter. Although I do like the idea of stacked lanes. Maybe if we stack the lanes for the smelting, then we confine ourselves to a certain spot. And then that makes it easier to design. Okay, maybe it makes it worse. Because now we have no space at all. Now we have to somehow design it to consume 4 lanes of iron in this. Actually, wait. I feel like this tessellates pretty well. Maybe I can do like 3? Something like this kind of works. How many inserters did we say I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I had about 8, so this is actually the right. This is a good amount. There's really not a great way to get coal over here. Maybe I can try to get it to be on this coal grid. Does that help? No, that doesn't really help. I like this mess that we have here. This is pretty clean though. I like this one. This is basically, this is a similar height to this original lane. We do have this space to work with. There isn't anything preventing us from just sending iron into here. But I'm not sure if, I don't really remember if we're missing anything for our main base. So I've been wanting to avoid that area. Because this isn't like fully stitched together yet. This is just a bunch of ideas, and it's going to take up roughly this amount of space. But we can unfold it a little bit and probably make it a little more rectangular, because right now it's very long. And like it kind of looks like a knife. Looks like a Buster Sword, honestly. But like broken off. Or let's see what else we could go with. The Aragorn's blade. Whenever he only has a little jagged, the jagged end. It just looks like a broken sword to me, really. But I want it to be a square or a boxy shape, a rectangle. Not so much a square. I don't know if this is anything. Let's move this. Okay. So this doesn't feel like it's that worth it. A Buster Sword as a homage to Cloud syncing my saves. That's true. No, that's good. I liked it. It might be a stretch, but it got me. Uh, It takes so much space to use up a lane of iron. That's really the moral of the story with burner drills, which is why I'm looking at this space. This is the size of, this is roughly, I think we still cut off a little bit. And this doesn't include the power, but this is, for reference, this is like a 100% run base, most of it, ignoring all the circuits, or the circuit production, which is like 15,000 inserters or something. If we were to design around burner inserters, which we are, something of this size would probably be like 5,000, it would be like 15,000 inserters, but it would produce like less than 60% as much, I think. Maybe more like 30% as much. So yeah, in a comparable space, you're doing at least like half the production probably for a lot of things. I guess like smelting lanes aren't that much larger. Assembling machines are massive. Which is why I am considering self-feeding inserters more, but that requires us to snake fuel and have some circuits, so we'll have to look into that. I don't know if I can justify having 5,000 circuits on, or 5,000 inserters on a circuit network. That feels like it would lose me a lot of performance. Like, circuits aren't terrible for performance, but that I feel like they're enough to matter when you're putting thousands or tens of thousands of inserters on them. That's when it starts to slightly matter. Especially since those circuits wouldn't be clocking. Like, they're not saving anything. They're literally just brownout prevention circuits, which makes them even like scarier. Knowing that you're not getting any like performance improvements from the circuit network. But I think this design itself is fairly sound. We can leave it for now. Or we can just finish it up for now, but I think this one will be fine. I think if we do them in pairs, that's our best bet, though. Because this is just so close to being in the right spot. Like, this looks pretty solid. We can worry about cleaning up the straight edges later. These can go in the same chest, although realistically they probably need separate chests Not sure about that. We're in map view. Of course, we're always in map view. If anyone's wondering, map view normally does not matter in editor mode unless you press F to pick something up. That's like the only difference it really makes. And like zooming in and out. But when you're designing things, it doesn't really make a difference. So I don't notice I'm in map view. Then I go to clear belt and it doesn't work. I mean, they use 2 chests. And they're producing way faster than we are. So we could probably make do with 2 chests as well. Because this is only 1 chest. We'll have 2 sets of these. Because we'll have another one here. That's what I use sometimes. I don't tend to use that as much with burner inserters. Because if fuel is already on the belt, I don't want to remove the fuel. Because then the start delay before things start working is so high. Like, I don't want the burners to have to refeed themselves. Obviously, it doesn't matter here. But that's why I have that habit. Especially with self-feeding. Self-feeding that doesn't have the circuits, the logic that it will have. We're just going to cram fuel into wherever it can get to make sure we like this design before we worry too much about it. You know, I feel like we could do a smelting lane over here. It would be like awkwardly right there. But if we reverse the outputs, that's not too bad. Because it doesn't really matter which way they output. Getting the fuel over here, getting the iron ore over here, that's going to be a breeze. Yeah, that looks okay. And then we can even do something like this to send the fuel over. Just to save a few belts. This does have brownout risk, but well, actually this does have brownout risk. I think these designs, am I designing around circuits? I think I'm designing around circuits at this point still. Yeah, we can probably design around circuits, because Tice's idea, let's actually place that before I forget. So part of the fear I had with using circuits to guarantee there's fuel in the belt is that I will be switching from coal to solid fuel potentially at around this point in the run, so the belts might be mixed unless I do some things to make sure that I connect everything very specifically. But I think being able to use the same belts is good, because it allows you to like just stop using coal. So that way I don't have to mine more coal. Basically, the idea is to send all the coal I was originally mining to plastic, so then I never have to set up a new coal lane. And then eventually transition the original lanes over to solid fuel. So to do that, the idea was basically to have a combinator right here that has iron plates on it, solid fuel, and coal. And these are set to -2. -2, and I think this was -12. Is the idea? It doesn't really matter what this one does. As long as this can't get above 0, we're good. We could set it to like -100 if we really wanted to. So what this does is it makes it that when we connect it to the network, and let's just use this one as a test. Actually, no, let's use our actual circuit network. Actually, if we're doing this, we'll put nuclear fuel in it for testing purposes. So that way we can keep using nuclear fuel. Then we have our splitter system, which goes here, 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 with prios to the left. This would go here. Okay. This is just read belt contents hold. It doesn't get enabled or disabled. And then we connect all of... we don't need all of the inserters, technically. We only need the ones that are self-feeding. So that would be this one, this one. This is self-feeding. These are self-feeding. These are self-feeding. This one can brown out, so this one would also need to be on the logic. That can't brown out, so those are good. So this is the idea. Then we set them all to anything greater than 0, I think. And now we do cut and undo. Okay, so you can tell these are all disabled. As soon as fuel backs up, they enable. So that makes it that belt backs up. Things activate, so that way you don't have to worry about brownouts. That's a safe way to start it. you would need a separate circuit setup for anything that shares the same fuel line. So, as long as we make it that this fuel gets redistributed through this entire section, we could do just one circuit condition, which actually not too bad. I'm not sure how we would do this one, because this iron actually needs to be on this side, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Does it? Not. Oh wait, no, not necessarily. Okay. This is a bit of a snake, but it works. It works. I think. Okay. We'll have to like cut and delete it later. But I think this snake will be better than having like four separate logics. It does mean none of these work unless all of these get coal, but that's fine. Okay, and now this is the tricky part. Now we have to like reverse this. Actually, is that tricky? Yes, a little bit. Or is it? Yeah. No, this is weird. This is harder than I thought it would be. This is harder than I thought it would be. Also, this isn't a dedicated belt, which is problematic. Because I think I want it to be dedicated, right? Yeah. Well, it doesn't need to be, but that makes it easier to sideload things if I don't have to worry about it. I could use a splitter. And then send half of it down and half of it around. Okay, yeah, this is a very messy connection right now. This is just a proof of concept. I want to make sure the idea kind of works. Because I've never shared a belt like this before in this situation. And obviously there's a bunch of things littering. That's when we're going to do this. And then this. So that way the belt clears itself so we can double check the sides. Very good. Very good. Very good idea that glad I was reminded of, because I honestly don't think I would have remembered it. Actually, we should have used delete here. There we go. Delete's a little bit better. These, for some reason, don't work, which I don't know why. Oh, they don't have coal. Yeah, that's one of the problems of the way I designed the lanes. Obviously, they work really well, but they're not super they're not super copy and pastable because none of them have their own fuel source. The only thing that changes is editor mode, but it is something I always have to keep in mind. Let's just do infinity loaders, because we're never going to make a half lane in practice. 1, 2, 3. We'll copy the filter. Okay, now they should work. Okay, the input seems incredibly low. Oh, this bottom one. Yeah, see, this was just a very quick test, and these have already died. So this is why I've been emphasizing so much that I haven't been wanting to self-feed. So this is like best case scenario, we paste everything at the same time. Like, or worst case scenario. It's a pretty common scenario. Things get placed at the same time. You get an equal amount of iron and fuel immediately because some belt starts, everything dies. If you get an equal amount pretty fast. Because some things are going to get iron faster than the others. So in this situation, everything needs their own circuit network. Or it needs to be, everything needs to have backed up fuel before it starts. I'm also thinking I might start doing some more sushi science stuff. This one doesn't need its own. I don't think it matters that much if we waste like one inserter here. Why do I have an output going that way? That was weird. There we go. This is the most random connections. Okay, that one's not necessary. Then this splits off and goes this way. This is all rotated. Okay, I think I used to have the output a different direction, but I never fixed that. Yeah, that must be what's happening. Does this look like everything's connected? I think so. And we just copy the circuit condition everywhere and hope we grab the right one. Because I probably did. Okay, now we delete it, and we undo. And now we watch none of them run except for the ones that are non-self-feeding. So the start time is like 30 seconds, a minute. It's not too bad. The start time is really nothing to worry about. Does take a while for fuel to go all the way, especially when it's built wrong. especially when it's built wrong. Okay, now fuel goes all the way around. We no longer need this. Okay, that should work a lot better. How did this brown out? Oh, because, yeah, okay. Oh, this doesn't work with splitters, does it? No, no. The only reason it didn't work is because I had things built wrong. Okay, so this logic does break if you have a single belt misplaced. Interesting. I think that only matters if you have to manually clear a belt, though. As long as there's still something moving somewhere, it shouldn't break. Yeah, so we just have to make sure we have no errors, which I feel like if you have to make sure there's no errors, like every design needs to not be broken. Okay, these are not working for some reason. Oh. Those are still from the broken set. Okay, third time's the charm. Hopefully we fix the design. Yeah, and this is why I wanted to minimize a lot of the complicated designs. But part of it, this is a lot more complicated than it needs to be solely because it's wrapped. I'm trying to make it a little bit less, a little bit more dense. Especially since we can actually move this like down here, and then it's really good for space. Like really, really nice for space. Now we somehow deleted part of the lane though, which is not ideal. That's very bad for space. Wait, how is that? Oh wait, no, we didn't delete the lane. This is 12. These lanes just look really weird. They always look staggered. Cause like, if you do this, right? This, wait, we don't have that filtered. Okay. It's like this looks like it tesslates, right? It's like if you looked at this looks like 12. This looks like 12. This looks like you broke something and you accidentally cut off some of the base because it has odd numbers at the ends. But this saves one belt. This saves one vertical row of belt every time. So that's why I go with this design, because it's a lot better for building by hand. Because otherwise you have an extra belt here and here. And then you have like one less in the middle. So that's why I've gone with this design. But this design always looks broken. Only downside, it always looks broken. Okay, that looks solid. Honestly, these work pretty well. Aside from the things that the parts where we still have some wrong output inserters. And then we should be able to test something. So let's do an underground. Let's look at our underground production. So we are producing 186 per minute. If we research stack size 3, that should go up pretty much immediately. And now, if we look at underground belt, I said it was like 180 or something, right?
Tacos every day.
So now it's like 240, 220, 240. So if we do have extra iron, it will be consumed once we get stack size 3. Although I don't think that's a good way to design it. Yo, what's up, Hal? Thanks for the raid. What were you playing today? Howdy foo. We're doing some burner designs today. We're trying to figure out, this is the first thing that bots will build. Which means it's things we'll need to scale up the base. So it's immediately doubling the amount of resources that we have, and it's all going into belts. Basically entirely going into belts. So it's yeah. It's been a rough to kind of design it slightly compact, but also like safe. But yeah, we have a lot more of the base. For reference, this is the normal 100% base, or most of it. As you can see, it's very large. This is what we've built of ours so far. Ours will be smaller because we're going to be UPS limited, so we don't need to make as large of a base to expand as fast because we have other problems we'll run into. But yeah, as you can see, we're not that close. I'm hoping to finish within like 2 months though. You played Buckshot Roulette for 1 hour 30 because you got incredibly lucky. Then Windows Are Gone, where you soft lock yourself. Is this a game or are these mini games within Yakuza? UPS is for calculation. Yeah, it's how fast. It's like the frame rate, but CPU basically. Yeah. Oh, actual games. Cool. I wasn't sure. I've heard Yakuza has a lot of mini games, so I just assumed everything is Yakuza. But let's pull up my limited one. So this is my old design. Wait, that is not my old design, is it? Yes, this is my old design. So like my computer is decent. Like I have a 5600X, but the problem with the problem with the 100% run for this game is you need like 300, 400, 500, I don't know, it's something crazy. Like belts of resources. Like hundreds, if not thousands of belts of resources. So this is a stress test base. So this one is my old design. We copied and pasted it until my computer, until we bottlenecked my CPU. So this one, old design, just looking at the outpost, because that's where 90% of the resources for the base is spent, or for the run is spent. Lots of inserters. Obviously, this is a pretty standard, well, a standard concept of dedicated smelting lanes that go into assembly lines. That's the general idea here. Smelting. We have a smelting lane. Nothing special there. But that uses a lot of inserters, like a lot more inserters. And you can see here, 40. Everything under 40 or everything under 60 is time loss. Everything above 60 means you have headroom. Because the game peaks at 60 unless you speed it up using console commands. So as long as you can stay above 60, you're good. If you're in like 55, you're probably still saving time, but not necessarily. Because like you're comparing real time to game time at that point. So if you can get enough extra production to lose like only 1% real time, it can pay for itself. But 60 is the goal. This one's compact. Oh, you haven't seen the other one. So this is the old design. Obviously, just if you just zoom out a bunch, it feels like it takes up a lot of space. This is the new design. 7 million per hour at 75 UPS. I think this one is the right one. It's also not actually at that UPS. That was just during startup. So the new design, no smelting lanes. Everything is direct feeding. Everything is direct fed. So we do still have a smelting lane. It just goes into a drill. But as you can see here, 67. Same production. So this one's like 40% better, which means I think I'll be able to finish the run in 12 hours. That's the goal. I was worried. I was worried. Was worried it was gonna take a lot longer because I do all this work to design an outpost and like we don't save any time. But yeah, this is a much better outpost. It looks incredibly cursed. It's less cursed than you would think. Do I have the blueprints here? I mean, it's still cursed. Don't get me wrong. Still very, very cursed. But the idea of direct feeding and just putting things in a chest is still used in the actual designs. Like, it's still used in the official 100% runs. Which one is it? Outpost? No, I think it's one of these. I thought I had it. Is it GT0? This is the different kind of outpost. Does anybody happen to know which one is the GC production? I have no idea where this sorting is. He was happy to get sub 1 day the one time he decided to try to do 100% runs. It's a lot. I wish I got sub 1 hour, sub 1 day in my attempt. To be fair, it was with burners, inserters, and no blueprints, but I was really hoping to get sub 1 day. I got like 26 hours. But yeah, it's fun. But basically, there's with 100% run, we have these achievements, and there's this one achievement in particular right here, which uses like I think over 90% of the resources for the run. So, and the devs don't intend you to get it in like one run or like, a day. It's just like, hey, you've played Factorio for like a few months. Here you go. You get this achievement, is the intention. But to do it all in one run, this is like 90% of your production, which is why we have that outpost, because our goal will be to paste like 20 of those throughout the bait. Like everywhere we see a patch, we're just going to paste one of those outposts on top of it. I'm surprised power lost you that much, though. I guess I guess if you're using electricity, never mind, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, if you're using electricity, power is going to be more of a concern. We're aiming for like 2 gigawatts, so power isn't a huge concern. 5,000 burner inserters, on the other hand, is... I really wish I could find the base. Because theirs looks a lot neater, because they have electricity. Is it this? It might be this. Wait, I think it's this. Yep, okay. This is their design. So their design uses beacons and furnaces. Which, because they're using beacons and furnaces and electric inserters, it's a lot more compact, for sure. It does use more power. I can say mine uses less power. Yeah, theirs is a lot more optimized, partially because, theirs are for actual speedruns, so saving like 5 minutes matters. For me, it's just like, if I can get 12 hours, I'm good. I'm using burner inserters. I don't need to make things to save like 5 minutes. But yeah, it's very, very, very resource intensive. At some point, you figured, okay, it might take a little longer, but this is surely enough space for all the power you'll ever need. Ah, I can see how that might be a problem. For us, we almost had power problems, but it wasn't because of space. It's because I didn't have anything to get... I didn't have any blueprints for getting water off of the patch. Or off of the pump. What is this called? Off of the lake. I didn't have the pump blueprints for getting stuff from inside the lake. That's what I'm trying to get at. And we just ran out of space to put offshore pumps on the outside. So I'm just like, okay, I guess we're limited to a gigawatt. But fortunately, we were UPS limited before we ran out of power. So I guess that's good. Don't know if it's necessarily good. But it's different, at least. But yeah, burner inserters, they're fun. They're really bad. I would not recommend them unless you're using mods that specifically make them better, like fuel leech and overhaul mods that like force you to use them. Don't use them in vanilla. Maybe for the power plant. Yeah, this is our goal here. Limited by pump speed. Yeah, it's really hard to get enough, like from a single lake, because the thing about 100% runs is you turn off all water except for the starting lake, which means you don't have the ability to get water elsewhere. So unless you have a blueprint that can get like a couple hundred extra offshore pumps from like the middle of the lake, you don't really have a great option for getting water. But if you keep water on, you run into possibilities of, like if you have a lake in the way, bots will never be able to go over it. There's a lot of patches that won't be usable. If you get really unlucky, you could be in an island that you're not aware of, and then you just have to call the run or something like that, because there's nowhere less to expand. So you just turn it off everywhere. So you have less worries. And don't have to worry about making tens of thousands of landfill, which would also be rough. Tens of thousands is probably an understatement. But yeah, you just have this one lake to work with. This is just a testing one. This lake is actually too small. Let's see, where's the blueprint? Again, this is for the actual runs. But this is roughly... This red stuff right here on the left. That's the space you need for water. I think a little bit more than that. So you can actually fit everything in. So this lake doesn't even get all of the pumps on it. So there's a lot of resetting, I think, for lakes, or there used to be. I think that's been fixed a little bit since the design was compressed. But yeah, there used to be a lot of resets for getting a lake that's large enough. But yeah, we're about to wrap up soon. We just wanted to show off some things. Oh, we also have our train system. So this is our train system. I'm very happy with this. So there's a couple ways. The easiest way is to just not use a train. Honestly, the best way is to just not use a train. But generally, when you play with trains in Factorio, you use buffer chests because buffer chests are nice. They make it that, you know, you can output more fuel or like output from trains faster than you use it, so you get like a steady production. Only problem with that, if you do an output chest with burner inserters, you can only do this many. This is your limit to how many inserters you can have. 5 per train, as opposed to 12. And it's not super scalable, but realistically you're looking at an alternating like 5 pattern, or you just do 4, which is either a third to like 40% of the production. So this design recycles fuel. So we send fuel to an outpost. It gets sent to burner drills, which we don't have pictured here. Those are actually, do we have a design with those? Okay, here's the one with burner drills. Here's the zoomed out one. So fuel gets sent to the burner drills, it gets mined, and it gets fed directly onto the train. And then we have about 50 fuel gets recycled, so that way the burner inserters can be self-feeding. And then this is just a chest to make sure there's always backup fuel. We can use an actual chest too. But it gets recycled slightly. And then on the unloading station, this 50 fuel is set so it is in the first slot, so that way it gets unloaded last. That makes it that they unload all the iron. And then whatever remaining, like, it's about 30 to 50 solid fuel, depending on if they have to feed themselves. It all gets recycled back onto the train. So we do loop around, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 39, 1 out of 40. So we do loop like 2% of our resources back constantly, which is, not amazing, but it halves the size of your train station, which is pretty big, because otherwise we would need to have like 4 times as many. But yeah, so this lets you get 12 inserters. They're not running full speed though, because sometimes they get stuck. Then we have this logic here. This makes it that they only self-feed if fuel is backed up, especially with red belts. This is very important, because otherwise you would pretty much be guaranteed that the burner inserters would stop working, and then the outpost will die. So this is brownout protection. Makes it that fuel has to be backed up on this entire line before they start. It does increase the start delay by like 30 seconds, but it makes it that things actually run and don't stop in like 20 minutes, so it's worth it. Otherwise, you can't have them self-feeding. But yeah, I'm super happy with the train design and the outpost. This is only half the size, though, of what the trains will be. So we'll be connecting like 5 to 10 no, not 5 to... Well, yeah, actually, yeah. We'll be connecting like 5 to 10 patches like this. Of course, the trains have to be this long to get the resources we need, because they fill so slowly. You can only get a single yellow belt per train, which means, yeah, a single yellow belt per train. We need 4 red belts, which is twice that. So, we need 8 train wagons, and then these last 2 are coal or fuel. So yeah, each outpost will have 5 trains on a single rail. That's for easy connection, because this is something that will be built by hand, except for the connecting points, but everything in between will be built by hand. So single track for that purpose. But yeah, the brownout production is really nice. It does add a little bit of UPS overhead, so I wouldn't want it everywhere on every single inserter, but I put it on the inserters that need it if it's a really good idea. Like with this, we used it originally in our outpost design. We have a brownout protection on every single row here. We could do we could do it, we could technically activate everything at once, since I think solid fuel will come from one section. But either way, these have their own brownout protection as well. And that's exclusively for the inserters that are picking up from belts going away from them, because those are the only ones that can die. It's like, as a quick example, obviously a belt can pick from 4 directions, right? It can pick from a belt going away from horizontally to it, or tangentially to it, towards it or away from it. These three, fairly safe, don't need brownout protection most of the time unless they are feeding an assembling machine. But if they're feeding a furnace or another inserter, they don't need brownout protection. The odds of them failing, very, very, very slim. Very specific scenarios. But this one, pretty much guaranteed. Like, almost 100% of the time. So we have brownout protection on all of the vertical, all of the inserters here. Lets us make it a little bit more compact. And it's only on 4 inserters or 8 inserters per row. Because it's literally just the ones that are facing away from it. Yeah, very happy with all the designs here. Although I am starting to wonder if it would be better to have a larger lane that's less, that wastes more assembly machines. I'm not sure. I'm pretty happy with this design though. But I wouldn't need brownout protection if I just made it like this with iron on one side and then cable on the other. And then we just accepted that it runs at 60% speed. So we do this, but we make it with twice as many assemblers. It's something I'll consider, but I don't know. The outpost is really neat. I don't think it needs a redesign, but there is an option. But yeah, super happy with that. So that's the progress on Burner Present. We'll be working on it probably 2 or 3 times a week now because I do want to get it done by April Fool's because that sounds like a great day. And it's on a Monday, so it falls on me on Monday. But we'll see. This is a large undertaking. Setting a 2-month a 2-month goal is a bit rough. But yeah, we'll be working on it a couple times a week. But that is it for me today. I need to go take a walk because it's actually nice outside and I need to do some exercising. So we'll wrap up here. Yeah, what else do we have on? It's Tuesday, right? So yeah, we'll be doing more burner design. We should be doing more burner designing on Thursday, probably Friday as well. And then the weekend should be space exploration. And then Monday, of course, we'll be finishing our longhand inserter run, which isn't, super crazy thing. Someone just wanted me to play the game with only long inserters and no short inserters. Yep, hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.